Hello people, welcome to the fourth episode of my reviews of the hit TV series The Idol. We are so close to the endgame now. We only have one episode left after this one, which is strange because I thought there was originally going to be 6 episodes. At least HBO has at least one brain cell left to cancel the show an episode earlier. But we're not at the finale yet, that's next week. We're talking about episode 4 today. And what a surprise. It sucked ass. You see Rachel Seno's face here. This was a screenshot during this episode. Yeah, that was me during the entirety of this episode. Just complete boredom and just disgust about what I was watching. Now, this episode isn't as bad as episode 3. In fact, I don't think any episode or any moment left in this series can be as bad as episode 3. But that's not to say it's good either. It's one of the better episodes. It does some minor improvements, but they're only minor. Like, really, really minor. Of course, if you've watched the rest of my reviews on this series, you know the positives that I have with all these episodes, the cinematography and direction, and Lily Rose Depp's performance. But one thing that I am happy to say has improved in this episode is that they cut down on the pointless nudity. Now, that doesn't mean there is no pointless nudity. There is, but at least the episode isn't slathered in it. We still get pointless shots of random people having sex, and we even get a shot of someone's dong in this one, which I think is a first for this series. But there was around a 10 to 15 minute section where there is no private parts on screen, which was perfection. Absolutely brilliant. It's not great, but I'll take what I can get at this point. And we also only get one cringy scene between Jocelyn and Tedros. So I'll take that as well. It's better than 2 or 3. And that's all the improvements for this episode. Time to rant.
God, forgive me.
Episode 4 was so dull, so boring, that I'm honestly struggling to remember what happened in this episode. Some things do happen, but because the show has developed its plot lines so poorly in the past episodes, you just don't care at all now. Seeing Diane, the woman that Jenny from Blackpink plays, taking over Jocelyn's image is interesting. But the problem is that it has been hardly developed in any of the episodes. In episode 3, she was in it for 10 seconds doing grotesque dancing, and in episodes 1 and 2, she says like 4 lines. Amazing character development right there. Now, she is in this episode quite a bit, so we do get a little bit of development with that plot line, but there has been nothing to indicate that I should care about this a lot. So I just never cared at all about what was happening with Diane. And Diane is very, very strange in this episode. She has a grudge against Jocelyn because she likes Tedros, and Jocelyn is dating him. And then she comes to the house party at Jocelyn's house and tries to sympathise with her that she's stealing her music. Now, if she was acting sympathetic but you could tell that she is secretly angry at Jocelyn, I guess it could have worked, but it never worked. It seemed very out of place in this episode. You also just don't care about the other plot lines as well. I could not give 2 damns about Jocelyn and Tedros' relationship because it has been borderline unwatchable. Every sex scene, every interaction between these 2 characters has been unwatchable. And the balls this episode has to introduce a random character just to introduce a quick conflict was so funny. I was honestly baffled about what I was seeing. But pretty much Diane is getting a little bit too touchy with Tedros, and then Jocelyn feels very jealous. So she invites her ex over called Rob to have sex with him and make Tedros jealous. Bearing in mind, this guy called Rob has hardly, in fact, he probably hasn't even been mentioned in the entirety of the show. And he comes to the house, and apparently we should instantly care. And one thing I should mention, he does have a really funny scene with The Weeknd, where The Weeknd is getting high and getting drunk, And it's just going like, whoa, whoa, and stuff like that. And The Weeknd's acting is just so funny. But if you want to add the cherry on top of the weird cake, after Jocelyn and Rob have sex, Rob comes downstairs and Troye Sivan's character is walking with this woman who's half naked. He asks, oh, can she take a picture with you? She's a big fan. He says, yeah. And then she gets a little too touchy with him. And then Troye Sivan starts taking like 5 pictures. And it's going to set up a conflict between Rob and Jocelyn in the final episode. Which, judging by how this series has gone so far, I would not be surprised if it doesn't get mentioned one bit in the finale. You can already tell the finale is going to be an absolute mess. Because we have about 6 plot lines which have hardly been developed. You don't care about them at all. And somehow they've got to be concluded in a satisfying way in one episode. How can you do that? That is impossible. But one thing that I am kind of optimistic about with the finale is that this conflict may not trigger any sexual or weird scenes between The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp. And I will take that any day. This episode is also unintentionally funny sometimes. They introduce famous music producer Mike Dean in the most funniest way possible. He comes out of a fancy car, sucking a sisha pipe or whatever it's called, with laughable music in the background. He's just trying to act super cool in every scene that he's in. In every scene, I swear he's just sniffing a substance. Like me, who's your drug dealer? Flipping heck. He's just smoking stuff in every scene that he's in. It's so funny. But of course, this episode contains some of the other crap that's in the other episodes. Bad dialogue returns once again. Of course, this bad dialogue mostly comes from The Weeknd. No surprise there. And yeah, oh my word, the scene where he's blindfolded Jocelyn and giving her pleasure to make her sing better, and all the other people are watching them. How the actors watching these two act kept a straight face, I don't know. And in fact, I have to commend them. Because I could not keep a straight face if I was in that scene. Jocelyn's friends and agents do absolutely nothing once again to stop Tedros from taking over Jocelyn's life. In fact, how Leia doesn't react to Tedros bullying Leia straight up, baffles me. She is the worst best friend and volunteer ever. Why are people so allergic to helping the people they love? Why? In fact, Jocelyn could have ended this situation episodes ago. And because she is so thick in the head, it makes her so unlikable now. It's got to a point where I am rooting for absolutely no one in the finale. So I do not care what happens one bit to these characters. I am so glad there is only one more episode of this trash to watch. But I have a hunch and I have a fear that they have decided to do episode 5 and episode 6 as one large episode. I hope that is not the case because I will need hard alcohol if that happens. So yeah, The Idol is still awful. Episode 4 is not the worst episode. In fact, it's one of the better ones. But that's not saying much at all. It cut down on the pointless nudity at least and the weird scenes, but that's not really a 10 out of 10 episode. So The Idol's still going to get a 1 out of 10. It's still awful. It's still one of the worst shows I've ever seen. Please do not watch it. In any case, do not watch it. Stay away from it. Watch anything else but this. I honestly can't wait to see those credits pop up on my screen next week. But one thing that's keeping me going and watching this show is you guys. People that have subscribed to my channel and viewed my videos of The Idol. You guys are amazing. We've just hit 100 subscribers. That is amazing. Thank you so much for letting me hit that milestone. I cannot thank you enough. I love doing this. And seeing that people like me to do it as well. It's just so good, man. Thank you so much. And guys, that is it for the end of this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Next time, it's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Please be good, I'm begging you. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have been brave enough to watch episode 4 of The Idol, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Have a good day. See you later.